Ya me han dicho que soy buena para nada y que el aire que respiro está de más. Me han clavado en la pared contra la espada. He perdido hasta las ganas de llorar. Pero estoy de vuelta, estoy de pie y bien alerta. Eso del cero a la izquierda no me ve. No me asustan los misiles ni las balas. Tanta guerra me dio alas de metal. Vuelo libre, sobrevuelo las granadas. Por el suelo no me arrastro nunca más. Ya no estoy de oferta, estoy de pie y bien alerta. Eso del cero a la izquierda no me ve. Todos somos tan desiguales, únicos, originales. Si no te gusta, a mí me da igual. De lo peor he pasado y lo mejor está por llegar. Ya me han dicho que soy buena para nada y que el aire que respiro está de más. Me han clavado en la pared contra la espada. He perdido hasta las ganas de llorar. Pero estoy de vuelta, estoy de pie y bien alerta. Eso del cero a la izquierda no me ve. Creo en mí. asustan los misiles ni las balas. Tanta guerra me dio alas de metal. Vuelo libre, sobrevuelo las granadas. Por el suelo no me arrastro nunca más. Ya no estoy de oferta, estoy de pie y bien alerta. Eso del cero.
Bienvenidos a todos. Me llamo Tanika Santos Maxwain. I'm the Assistant Director of Fitness with Recreation and Wellbeing here at Virginia Commonwealth University. Y tengo el honor de darles la bienvenida a esta celebración. Esta noche es importante, no por las estolas, aunque son muy bonitas, sino por lo que significan: dedicación, crecimiento y el final de un viaje grande, pero también el comienzo de uno nuevo. Todos han trabajado fuerte para estar aquí hoy. Will faculty and staff who are present please stand? Faculty and staff, I see y'all. Will our families of the graduates also please stand? Las familias de los graduados, por favor, si pueden levantarse. Muchas gracias, muchas gracias. Gracias por el trabajo y los sacrificios que han hecho y han tomado para sus graduados, para sus familias. And thank you to the staff and the faculty who have put in so much work to be able to get these students where they are and why we are all here today. This day is for all of you as much as our graduates, and your sacrifices and successes will not be forgotten. So now I have the great pleasure of welcoming Dr. Kadeba, Director of the Office of Multicultural Student Affairs, to the stage.
Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna make this without tears, so. Greetings, family, friends, faculty, staff, and all guests joining us in person and via live stream. And for the reason we are gathered here today, allow me to extend heartfelt greetings to our 2024 VCU graduates. I share these greetings as we do in my home country of Côte d'Ivoire by saying Akwaba, which means welcome. So Akwaba, everyone. My name is Dr. Miriam Kadeba, and I serve as the Director of the Office of Multicultural Student Affairs, OMSA for short. On behalf of the entire team, welcome and thank you for joining us for this celebration. What a time it's been. And my heart is filled with so much love looking at all your faces and witnessing the pride beaming out of your parents, guardians, abuelos, tias, and friends accompanying you. I don't doubt that every single one of you graduates has had a meaningful journey to get to this moment. It's very likely that during your academic journey, you have encountered some successes and dealt with some twists and turns while navigating uncertainty and doubt. As we know, many seemingly contradictory things can be true at the same time. Maybe some of you have had a hard time imagining what graduation day would look like. And low-key, you might still be caught up in finals, so your graduation-related emotions may range from feeling like all of this is very anticlimactic to feeling relief and elation, and honestly, every feeling in between too. Yet here you are, with the support, care, and nurture of your community, as well as the blessing of the ancestors, here you are. So please know whatever you experience today and these next few weeks are all warranted, and I hope you make some space for yourself at some point, it doesn't have to be immediately, to acknowledge your accomplishments and your journey. In a culture that can be so outcome-driven, we may not keep focus on the tiny moments that amount to this big moment. Cherie Moraga, queer Chicana feminist, writer, activist, and poet, said at a conference I recently attended, "If we forget ourselves, who will remember us?" Therefore, I wish you many moments of sacred pause to remember yourself and all it's taken for you to be here today. Earlier, I mentioned that everyone has been traveling their own life paths to get here. During that journey, and particularly at VCU, I hope you felt connected to others and experienced a sense of belonging. I say hope because I recognize it's not a given. Whether at the Counseling Center or at OMSA, I've interacted with many Latin and Hispanic students who have described mental health concerns, often fueled by feeling isolated on campus and missing spaces where they can be around others with shared lived experiences and feel understood without always having to explain themselves, which is a very basic human need. Students talk about eating the food we catered being reminiscent to what they would eat at home, and describe many other ways that they connected with other students on campus to find community, which was inspiring to see. During a time when many students across the nation and on this very campus are speaking truth to power and advocating for themselves and their peers, that sense of belonging and connectedness to the larger community might waver, understandably so. Yet students' voices and advocacy are important agents of change. Student leaders in organizations such as LSA and SACNAS and many other organizations on campus are essential to making VCU feel like home for so many, and we rejoice in celebrating you today. Whether or not you've connected with OMSA during your VCU journey, or this is your first time interacting with our office, we are honored to serve you. You, VCU graduates, remain my favorite part of the job. You really do. So this evening, may you feel celebrated and honored for your tremendous academic and educational accomplishments. I wish you much peace, love, and success in your future endeavors, however you define that. Congratulations, class of 2024 VCU graduates. We're also proud of you.
I told myself I was going to get through this without tears. I was clearly wrong. But next we are going to welcome some of our fantastic student speakers from the class of 2024. Leslie Chavez, Sahira Hernandez Diaz, Alquin Arcino Cortez Jr. For our three speakers, we're just going to have you come up to the ramp in that order, and then feel free to speak and exit through the right. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Leslie Chavez, and I am a Master's of Public Health Concentration in Epidemiology candidate. In honor of the Latinx students and families, I will be conducting the rest of my speech in Spanish. Thank you. Buenas tardes, estudiantes, padres, familia y amigos a esta celebración de los futuros graduados de 2024. Mi nombre es Leslie Chávez y soy una candidata de la Maestría de Salud Pública con una concentración en epidemiología. Hoy es un día de celebración, un día para recordar y un día para dar gracias. Estamos aquí para celebrar años de esfuerzos, dedicación y logros. Primero, quiero agradecer a mis padres, Luis Chávez y Dora Aguilar. Gracias a sus esfuerzos, he tenido muchas oportunidades que me han ayudado a crecer como persona y como académico. Su amor incondicional y su apoyo constante han sido mi faro en los días más oscuros. Me han enseñado el valor del trabajo duro, la importancia de la perseverancia y el significado de la familia. Gracias por creer en mí, incluso cuando yo no lo hacía. A mis hermanos, Amy, Jocelyn y Luis, gracias por ser mis primeros amigos, mis confidentes más fieles. Cada risa compartida, cada pelea superada, cada momento vivido juntos ha dejado una huella imborrable en mi corazón. A mi sobrina Ariana y a mi sobrino Leo. Ustedes son la luz de nuestra familia. Su alegría y su inocencia nos recuerdan a todos lo que realmente importa en la vida. A mi familia extendida, gracias por su amor y apoyo. Cada uno de ustedes ha jugado un papel importante en mi vida y estoy agradecido por tenerlos a todos en mi vida. A mis amigos, gracias por estar a mi lado en cada paso de este viaje. Hemos compartido risas, lágrimas, éxitos y fracasos. Cada uno de ustedes ha dejado una huella en mi vida y estoy agradecida por cada momento que hemos compartido. Finalmente, quiero expresarle gracias a la doctora Dina García y la doctora Elizabeth Promworthy. Ambas han allanado el camino para las futuras latinas como yo, para perseguir la educación superior. Han demostrado que a pesar de los desafíos y obstáculos, podemos alcanzar nuestras metas y hacer contribuciones significativas a nuestra sociedad. Su impacto va más allá de las aulas y los laboratorios. Han tocado vidas, han inspirado a generaciones y han cambiado el rostro de la academia. Por eso y por todo lo demás, les doy las gracias. Hace 2 años yo me gradué de esta misma institución, VCU, con mi título de Ciencias y Psicología. Y ahora estoy aquí frente a todos ustedes a punto de graduarme con mi maestría en Salud Pública. Todas esas noches en vela, todas esas lágrimas, el estrés, todos esos momentos valieron la pena y ya que me llevaron a una carrera en mi pasión. Mi aspiración es convertirme en un médico en el futuro. Es un testimonio de mi compromiso inquebrantable que la educación continúa y el aprendizaje. Reconozco que el camino hacia la medicina es largo y desafiante, pero estoy dispuesta a embarcarme en ese viaje con determinación y perseverancia. Aunque hoy celebro la culminación de un capítulo importante en mi vida académica, estoy consciente de que este no es el final de mi viaje educativo. En cambio, el comienzo de uno nuevo, lleno de oportunidades para crecer, aprender y contribuir a la sociedad de maneras significativas. Cada paso que doy es un camino de acerca de mi sueño de convertirme en médica y estoy emocionada por lo que el futuro me depara. Y ahora, a mis compañeros de graduación. Quiero decirles que cada uno de ustedes es una historia de éxito. Cada uno de ustedes es un testimonio de resistencia, determinación y coraje. Cada uno de ustedes es un faro de esperanza y posibilidad. Miran a su alrededor, miran lo lejos que hemos llegado, miran todo lo que hemos logrado y ahora imaginan todo lo que podemos lograr en el futuro. Imaginen las vidas que podemos cambiar, los problemas que podemos resolver y los sueños que podemos hacer realidad. Así que mientras nos preparamos para dar el siguiente paso en nuestras vidas, recordemos que este no es el final, sino el comienzo de un nuevo capítulo. Llevemos con nosotros las lecciones aprendidas, los recuerdos creados y las amistades forjadas. Finalmente, quiero decir que cada uno de ustedes tiene el potencial de ser grandes cosas. No importa dónde nos lleva la vida, siempre recordamos que somos capaces de superar cualquier obstáculo y alcanzar nuestras metas. Sigamos adelante con valentía, determinación y esperanza. Gracias a todos y felicitaciones a la clase de graduados. Que este sea el comienzo de un viaje lleno de alegría, amor y éxito. Que cada uno de ustedes brille con su propia luz y que esa luz ilumine el camino para los demás. Adelante, clase de graduados 2024. El mundo está esperando.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Zahir Hernandez, and I'm one of your student speakers for today. I'm so honored to be up here, and I'm a little nervous, so please bear with me. For one, I wear many hats around campus. Some people know me as their RA. Others know me as the research assistant at the front office. Others know me as Z, Sahi, or just the LSA secretary, which is probably my favorite hat. First and foremost, I want to give a big thank you to all the families that are here today who have supported their hardworking students up to this point. None of this would be possible without all of you. Les quiero dar las gracias a todas las familias que están aquí hoy, a todos los que han apoyado a sus estudiantes hasta este punto. Nada de esto sería posible sin ustedes. As we come together this evening to celebrate all our hard work, all of this is a reminder of all the sacrifices our parents, our grandparents, and our communities have made to get us to this point, to get us here today. Their hopes and dreams and aspirations have paved the way for us to accomplish what they never had the chance to. Their resilience and ours is a reflection of everything we have the potential to accomplish as a community. We have the privilege of being part of the 52% of Latino students who graduate from a four-year institution. We are part of this new narrative and new story being written. And we have the privilege to break generational curses and decide how the new story goes. So today, I want to share a little bit about my story. Like many of you, I'm the first in my family to go to school and graduate. I'm the first to be in these spaces and rooms that I didn't even know existed. Navigating this has not been easy. Feelings of inadequacy, imposter syndrome, and so many instances of thinking I didn't deserve the opportunities I was given, as if I took this spot away from someone more deserving, more intelligent, better. But that isn't the case. Like every single one of you, I've earned my spot here, staying up all those late nights to finish assignments, powering through the exhaustion because the finish line was just so close. It has earned me, us, our spots. I come from a single-parent immigrant household, and growing up, that wasn't easy. My sister and I were always the translators whenever we'd bring home permission slips from school. We were the translators at every parent-teacher conference, and I'm sure that many of you can relate when I say that, yes, sometimes the seat at our recitals was empty, but I know that wasn't on purpose. Our parents were away, working hard to make sure we had everything we needed to go far. This degree is as much mine as it is my mother's, my sister's, and my community's. We have the privilege of being the bridge between our parents' world and this one. We have the privilege of opening doors our parents never could, and we gotta make sure we get it right. It's been a difficult lesson to learn, but these past 4 years have taught me that I would not be here if I didn't deserve it, that I have every right to take up room and be seen, that I need to make sure I represent for my community. So, there are a few thank yous that I want to give out because I didn't do this alone. To my mentor, Dr. Nakina Douglas Glenn, who inspires me to always be the best version of myself, and who is a constant reminder that as Black women and women of color, wherever we go, we deserve to be there, we deserve to be seen and heard, and that nothing is impossible for us. You are truly the definition of ambitious, and you inspire me to be a better woman every day. To my wonderful LSA familia, who have been stuck with me for the last year and a half, being part of LSA is an experience I'll never forget. I love you guys so much, and I'm so happy to have each and every one of you in my life. Thank you for bringing me out of my shell and helping me grow. I could not think of a better group of people to continue leading LSA on campus. I'm confident that everyone who is part of this wonderful organization is in the right hands. To my wonderful friends who have never stopped cheering me on, thank you for always seeing the potential in me that I struggled to see. I'm so blessed to have you all. Words cannot describe what you mean to me. And lastly, thank you so much to my mom and my sister for always giving me their unwavering support through everything. I would not be the woman I am today without you. I know I wouldn't be standing here without you. Words cannot express how much love I have for you both. Thank you for always believing in me and pushing me to keep going. Congratulations to every single student sitting here today. The sacrifices you have all made have paid off, and this is just the beginning of each of our journeys. I know the 2024 spring graduating class will do so many amazing things in the world. Now, before I go, I want to leave you all with a quote by Pablo Neruda that I feel resonates with many of us. Podrán cortar todas las flores, pero no podrán detener la primavera. In English, this translates to, you can cut all the flowers, but you cannot keep spring from coming. For many of us, every single corner we've turned throughout our time here has been met with a challenge or an obstacle, something intended to keep us from reaching the finish line. But we haven't let that stop us, and I know we never will. We have the privilege and opportunity to be part of something more, and it's up to us to use those opportunities the right way, to fight for what's right even when it's not the easy option, even when those around us are telling us otherwise. As we celebrate today, this is a bittersweet reminder of everything that's been lost. It's a reminder that there are students in Palestine who will never get to walk across the stage, students who will never get to celebrate with their parents and loved ones, students who will never get to fulfill their hopes and dreams. So much potential lost. Families left behind and forgotten. We have the privilege to have a voice, even when it's being suppressed. Even if you think your voice is small, please remember, they can't shut all of us up. Never stop fighting for what's right, even if the people at the top, the people around you, the people who are supposed to protect you, are telling you otherwise. They cannot keep spring from coming. Above all else, the biggest thank you goes to everyone who's been fighting for Palestinian liberation and continues to fight for the right of the Palestinian people to be free and safe. Please keep your eyes on Rafah, Gaza, and Palestine. Thank you.
A lot of people in here. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Buenas tardes todos. Mi nombre es Alkin Cortez Jr. My name is Alkin Cortez Jr., and I will speak in Spanish and in English. Hablaré en español y en inglés. To begin with, I would have never thought about graduating college, let alone going to college. Para empezar, nunca hubiera pensado en graduarme de la universidad y mucho menos ir a la universidad, especially with the life of being a Latino. Did you know Latino students were more likely to be the first generation college students than any other racial group, especialmente con la vida de ser latino? ¿Sabían los estudiantes latinos tenían más probabilidades de ser estudiantes universitarios de primera generación que cualquier otro grupo racial? Specifically for us male Latinos, after graduating high school, if we even graduate at all, our choices are limited. Another fact is that women nearly make up 59% of the Latino undergraduate population, and men only make up 39%. Específicamente para nosotros, los varones latinos, después de graduarnos de la escuela secundaria, si es que nos graduamos, nuestras opciones son limitadas. Otro hecho es que las mujeres constituyen casi el 59% de la población universitaria latina y los hombres solo el 39%. There are many things involving us Latino men that aren't talked about but should. Hay muchas cosas que nos involucran a los hombres latinos que las que no se habla de, pero se debería de hablar. So here's a story. Tengo una historia para ustedes. When I was a junior in high school, I took night school, and I remember one day after classes let out, I just didn't feel right. When I got home, I went straight to my room. My chest was feeling heavy, and I started to cry. At that point, I realized I was having a panic attack. All I could think of was wanting to be successful, and yes, successful is very subjective. I had realized that I really wanted to stay in school, but I just didn't know what to study, but I did want to stay in school. Cuando estaba en mi tercer año de la secundaria, tomé clases nocturnas y recuerdo que un día después de terminar las clases, simplemente no me sentía bien. Cuando llegué a mi casa, fui directo a mi habitación, sentía mi pecho pesado y comencé a llorar. En ese momento me di cuenta que estuve teniendo un ataque de pánico. Lo único que podía pensar era que tener éxito, y sí, lo éxito es muy subjetivo, pero me di cuenta que realmente quería quedarme en la escuela. No sabía que quería estudiar, pero solo quería permanecer en la escuela. Now, I dedicate this next part to my parents. My parents made the choice to come to this country to give their children an opportunity, and as so, I took the chance, and here I am today. I love my parents so much. I don't show it, but I appreciate them so much. I love you, Mom and Dad, in the back. And thank you all for giving me everything that you've done, the sacrifices you've made for me to get to this point. It was your time to take care of me, and now it's my turn to take care of you all. Ahora dedico la siguiente parte a mis padres. Mis padres tomaron la decisión de venir a este país para darle a sus hijos una oportunidad. Así que aproveché esa oportunidad y aquí estoy hoy. Amo tanto a mis padres que no lo demuestro, pero los aprecio mucho. Los amo, mamá y papá. Gracias a ustedes por todo lo que han hecho, los sacrificios que han hecho por mí para llegar a este punto. Era su momento antes de cuidarme, ahora es mi turno a cuidarlos a ustedes. I would also like to thank the parents of whose children are here right now that are going to graduate. Be proud of yourselves and your children who have made it this far. También me gustaría agradecerle a los padres de los hijos que están aquí ahora mismo que se van a graduar. Siéntanse orgullosos de ustedes mismos y de sus hijos que han llegado hasta aquí. Now, in high school, I was a great student, making great grades, having a good GPA. It wasn't until I arrived in college that things became even more rigorous. I wasn't that great student I once was, especially being a first-generation student. You do not know what to expect. Ahora, en la escuela secundaria era un buen estudiante. Sacaba excelentes calificaciones y tuve un buen GPA. No fui hasta que llegué a la universidad que las cosas se volvieron aún más rigurosas y ya no era el gran estudiante que alguna vez fui. Especialmente siendo un estudiante de primera generación. No sabes qué esperar. Now that we made it to this point, what lies ahead of us is an adventure I like to call the real world. Remember that you are not alone on this journey. There are so many of us in the same position as you, not knowing what's next. The beautiful part in that is that you'll learn to be comfortable putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, especially for myself right now. I have terrible social anxiety, but look at me giving a speech in front of a lot of people. There have been many obstacles that I have faced but overcame. I believe in every one of us in here that you can do the same. I'm so proud of everyone in here for getting this far, even though you might not know me. Ahora que hemos llegado a este punto, lo que nos espera es una aventura que me gusta llamar el mundo real. Recuerda que no estás solo en este viaje. Hay muchos de nosotros que están en la misma posición que tú, sin saber qué sigue. Lo bueno de esto es que aprenderás a sentir cómodo poniéndote en situaciones incómodas. Especialmente en mi caso, tengo una ansiedad social terrible. Pero mírame, dando un discurso en frente de mucha gente. Han habido muchos obstáculos que he enfrentado, pero he superado. Creo que todos los que estamos aquí, que podemos hacer lo mismo. Estoy muy orgulloso de todos que están aquí para haber llegado tan lejos. Y lo último que voy a decir solo será en español. Y los dejo con esto. Dale, 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 no pierdas el tino, porque si lo pierdes, pierdas el camino. Felicitaciones, clase del 2024.
Okay, we can cry and we can laugh. We can do it all. Alrighty, for our keynote speaker, Kairos Manzanares is a bilingual Emmy-winning multimedia journalist here in Richmond. She currently works for VPM News, a local NPR and PBS affiliate. She is a reporter on their show, VPM News Focal Point. Ms. Manzanares is passionate about covering stories that impact underserved and underrepresented communities. Before VPM, Manzanares worked as a digital reporter and producer at WRIC ABC 8 News. There, she created and anchored Hoy and RVA, a digital-first initiative to inform the Latino community of Central Virginia. Manzanares has covered immigration, COVID-19, and civil rights issues, among other breaking news stories in Richmond. Manzanares graduated from Virginia Commonwealth University with a bachelor's degree in broadcast journalism in 2019. Wow, let's welcome her to the stage.
Wow, it's really nice to be here. I just want to say that when I graduated in 2019, I don't think we had a ceremony this big, celebrating us and celebrating our accomplishments in our culture, right? Getting the chance to sit here in the beginning and look at your pictures and look at your families. It really is an emotional day for many of you. I want to start by saying that I was once you, right? Sitting in that seat in 2019, feeling a lot of emotions. And today, I feel like I'm reliving it, to be honest. So today, really, I think is a celebration of you. This is a moment that you've been working towards, your family has dreamed about, right? And it's arrived. So I want to take one moment before I really start to give you an applause, because you really do deserve it. As was previously mentioned, I'm a journalist here in Richmond, working for VPM News. I have the opportunity to write and shoot stories that aren't like what we see on a regular basis on Univision or Telemundo, which are very short stories, right? And often, many times, can feel negative. My stories really are a focus on our culture, who we are, and what's beautiful about it is that they're documentary length, so they can be up to 8 minutes, 10 minutes, things that I never really got to experience or see when I was growing up and looking at media. So to me, I think that's why I do what I do. I love being able to represent our culture in a way that's sensitive to us. I was born and raised in Arlington, Virginia. My parents are from El Salvador, and they taught us the importance of language. I know I'm giving my speech in English right now, but I do speak Spanish. And you know, the importance of keeping our native tongue, reading in Spanish, our culture, and overall this, what I now like to call a collective spirit, right? We're never working just for ourselves. We're always trying to find a way to give to others, to give back, and really just looking beyond us, right? But I think, as many of y'all have alluded to, that can become very heavy. And so I want to focus my speech really on just 4 things that I wished someone would have told me when I was sitting there. And I learned over time, and so now I hope that you get to skip all that part, and now you leave here with that knowledge that I really think will help you. And those things are reflecting, resting, resetting, and reconnecting. I made them all R's, so they're very easy to remember. All the topics, like I said, that I wish I would have known when I was sitting right there. The first one is reflecting, right? Everyone, if you're on social media, you'll see that a lot of people are running, right? They're really in this running era. Everyone's, you know, the girlies. But I recently started running, and one thing I do when I get really tired, or when I feel like I can't keep going, right, is I retrace my steps. So I take a moment to close my eyes and think about when I left my house, right? And where, and I just like really retrace my path, right? Often we don't do that enough. In visualizing how far you've ran can really help you understand how far you've gone, the challenges that you faced. Maybe you were already tired at mile 1, but you kept going, right? And so by the time you've gone through that process, guess what? You've ran a lot more distance, right? And you're less likely to be like, I'm done. I'm just gonna walk the rest of the way, right? So that's about finding inspiration, I think, in your own journey. And that's gonna keep you going and motivate you for what's to come. Another thing that I'm learning is like, this feels like a finish line, right? We're crossing over, we did something, but really it's your starting line because you have a lot more to learn and a lot more to do. The second is rest, which is the most important, if anything. You've carried the weight of all these dreams of all these different people here, right? Your dad's dreams, your mom's dreams, your cousin's dreams, your mom's vecina, who she told that you're going to college, you know, all these people. There's like a big collective weight on you to get to this point. And our parents, they don't ask for much, right? But they do expect a lot. They expect us to finish high school, get into college, get good grades, graduate, find a high-paying job, maybe get married, maybe start a family, and the list seems like it's never gonna end. And that's a lot of pressure, and you need to learn to shake it off. I think that in saying that, you'll get to know a little bit more about me too, because I think that was the story with my parents. They never outright said, we want you to do X, Y, and Z, but I always knew, right? And so in that, there's never real advice, right? There's never a roadmap. A lot of us here are first gen, and we're gonna have to create our own roadmap. And it's not gonna look like the person next to you. It's gonna be very different. We all have very different life experiences and very different interests. So, it's time to take the load off. And don't worry, I'll tell your parents in Spanish at the end to go easy on you. So, find time to rest, enjoy your accomplishments beyond the family dinner tonight, right? And give yourself, the encouragement that you need. The last, kind of nearing the end, but reset. Reset. This is the time really to take time for yourself. Maybe you're sitting here and you already have a job. Maybe you don't have a job. I didn't have a job when I was sitting there and I was like panicking on the inside, like, what am I gonna tell them, But you gotta learn to take a breath and be patient because hard work is always going to be there. And we're associated with that a lot, right? Latinos have those characteristics of being hardworking, and that's not a wrong assumption. We wouldn't be here, right, if it wasn't for the hard work and the patience of the people sitting over here, right? But it's also our hard work that's gotten you there. They've helped, but they also weren't there when you were studying for your test, when you were panicking, when you were looking next to you thinking, I don't belong here. Those are all things that you had to overcome. So you've already done a lot of that hard work. And one thing that's a cliche is like our parents always say, like, se tienen que poner las pilas, right? Put your batteries on. But we can't do that unless our batteries are charged. So don't forget that. As you transition out of this space, many of us will move back home, some will stay, some will move out, right? Something that in our culture sometimes doesn't really happen, right? We might be the first to do that. I was the first to do that. It was very scary. But it's time to reconnect with your culture, with your parents, with your community, and most importantly, with yourself. I'll tell you a story of my own graduation, which I don't really tell, because I, at the time, thought it was embarrassing. But as I was preparing for this speech, I realized that at my graduation is kind of where I started learning all of this. So it was 2019, I was sitting out there, and I remember just, feeling a lot of feelings. I didn't even pick up a program, I didn't know who was speaking, I was just ready to get my diploma and get out of there. Go to the Mexican restaurant we were gonna go to with my parents, right? And I sat there, and I didn't get to sit with any of my friends, I wasn't really distracted. And the person that was giving the keynote speech was a man named Sergio Ramos. He was first gen, he was from Virginia, he was a writer, he was a journalist, he was like all the things I wanted to be at the time. He was also an editor for USA Today. Remember, I didn't have a job. So I was like, I need to get that man's card immediately after this ends. Like, I need to connect, I need to get a job. And it kind of felt like a movie scene where you're sitting there and everybody kind of blurs out and you feel like that person is talking to you. And I had never had experienced anything like it. And I'm like, this man, like, who hired him to be here today? Like, they hired him for me, right? That's kind of what it felt like. And I don't know, I just felt this connection, right? And so at the end of graduation, when you get up from your seat, the first thing you're gonna do is probably find your parents, right? I was like, I need to find that man. Like, I need to that's the first person I'm looking for. And so in his speech, just to set the scene a little better. He talked a lot about the weight that we feel, being in this first category, right? We're learning things for the first time, and we're gonna continue learning things for the first time, right? In our careers, in our profession, in your hobbies and your passions, like we really do get the luxury, right? I said you guys need to rest. That's a luxury that our parents don't have. And some, don't know how to do that. And so you'll experience a lot of firsts. But he really kind of got to the heart of that, I think, for me. And so I'm like, okay, doors open, he's walking out first. I'm like not trying to lose sight. And I get out there and I'm like thinking about what I'm gonna say. And before I open my mouth, I just start crying, right? It had never happened to me before. This man is looking at me like, what is going on? And I'm probably like, maybe it feels like an exaggeration, but I felt like I was crying for a minute. To the point that my family was coming up, my professors were coming up, some of my classmates, everybody's like, what is happening, right? And Mr. Ramos didn't say anything, but he acknowledged and really understood what I was feeling because he also felt it. And so I think that the pressures of our dreams, honoring our heritage, our culture, sometimes can make us feel like we're not breathing, right? Like you're kind of stuck. And so graduation, I think, should be the time where you learn to release that. Because now you've fulfilled the collective dream, and now it's your turn to figure out what you really want to do. So I encourage everyone to explore that. And hopefully what I've said today might make your experience in going through that feel less painful. So don't forget the 4 R's. And as you enter the workplace or whatever profession you choose, remember that you still will be experiencing a lot of firsts, but you've already have done that before. So there's no reason why you can't reflect and still succeed. So always carry who you are with pride. Always remember where you come from. Find ways to build your own community and inspire others to do the same. I think in the workplace, the most important thing is to let your humility, your strength, and your hard work speak for itself. And finally, para los papás, les he estado dando muchos consejos a sus hijos de cómo poder relajarse. El mismo consejo les quiero dar a ustedes. Ellos ya han hecho un gran trabajo, se van a graduar, se van a convertir en profesionales y también necesitan que ahora ustedes les tengan paciencia. Gracias.
Okay, everyone, we arrived at the time we have all been waiting for, the recognition of the graduates. I know that's what we're all here to see. So we're going to be making some shifts to our stage, and I will welcome Christina Davis, Academic Advisor at the University College. She will be introducing all of our graduates, but for our graduates and their donors, while we're making these adjustments, please listen carefully. Our staff and volunteers will guide the graduates and their donors to line up on the stage. However, please stay seated until a volunteer signals for your row to stand. Graduates, you will line up on the left side of the stage along the ramp. And when your name is called, you will step onto the stage with your donor, receive a Latina stole, be donned by either your donor or our staff donor, who's going to be over on this side. Get your photo taken in the middle of the stage where I am. Walk off stage onto the left, and volunteers will guide you and your donors back to your seats. So my volunteers, can you please wave Yes, these are the people you want to be focusing on. So as long as everybody can see them, they will be guiding you through the process, so please look to them if you need any support or assistance. Are we good? Are we ready? I know I am.
Thank you, Josh. You know I'm short. I appreciate it. I can't hear. I went. Josue Arias Rodriguez. Jocelyn Amaya. Sheila Hernandez Rubio. Alkin Cortez Jr. Zahira Hernandez. Leslie Chavez. Andrea Chavez. Yasmin Carrizo. Cynthia Campos.
Jemiah Butler. Alison Paraintos. Emil Baez Salazar. Gabriela Ndegos. Ruth De Paz. Jocelyn Corrales Nozagarere. Brianna Cordova. Edwin Constancia. Carolina Clark. Fabian Fontanes. Caralis Ferrafino. Benjamin Estrada. Indira Ramos Edwards. Kimberly Diaz Carrera. Kendra Diaz. Yadira Gonzalez del Cid. Natalie Gonzalez. Emily Gomez Ponce. Giselle Garcia Barahona. Alyssa Garay. Doctora Lisa Fuentes. Yes, yes. Chelsea Corey. Janelise Irizarry Rivera. Tayshawn Holmes. Lori Hernandez. Yolanda Hernandez. Marta Guerrero. Michelle Marquise. Nebo Montari. Natalie Maldonado. Brian Lizama Montesino. Jennifer Lazarte Perez. Fabiana Lindevor Quintela. Dr. Corinthia Nicolay. Giovanni Mea. Camilla Miku. Alexander Maya. Michael Martinez Posadas. Vanessa Ramiel Martinez. Ana Porada. Yeni Padilla. Alexandra Pabon. Elena Ortiz Rivera. Crystal Ordonez. Sara Fidelina Oliva. Brianna Riddick. Edward Reyes Pinto. Catherine Perez Hernandez. Caroline Perez. Nan Pena. Brittany Paredes. Elena Sanchez. Ana Sales. Jocelyn Rodriguez. Michelle Rodriguez. Ashley Rotres. Congrats, congrats. Gloria Rivera. Nicole Thomas. Jason Tejeda Molina. Melaine Tarifa. Cindy Sejas. Rachel Schmidt. Virginia Threkel. Andy Torres. Leslie Torcidos Hernandez. Sierra Williams. Aleida Sabrana. Anaí Zambrano. Abigail Bulger. Class of 2024.
We made it, everybody. Oh, yes, one more time. One more time. And now for our closing remarks from Sheila Hernandez Rubio.
Buenas tardes, familias y clase del 2024. As we bring this ceremony to an end, I wanted to give another round of applause to our amazing speakers, keynote speakers, the entire faculty and staff that put all of this together, and of course, our class of 2024 graduates. I know I'm gonna cry at this part, so just bear with me. I especially want to thank OMSA. OMSA has been my family for the last 4 years. And my journey would not have been the way it has been without them. So I want to give them all the love, all the thanks, because I know they made this journey incredible for me. They opened doors for me, they supported me through everything. I don't think everyone realizes the hard work and dedication that goes into everything. So I know that working with them for the last 4 years and seeing the growth, I love you all so very much, and you guys mean the world to me. And I can't look at Dr. Kadeba because I'm gonna cry. This is why they made me do the closing remarks, because I was gonna cry all my makeup off. But I know for me personally, a first-generation student, second-generation immigrant coming to VCU, it wouldn't have been the same with OMSA, honestly. And as I graduate with my bachelor's in science and sociology, I will continue to advocate for my Latinos as I pursue to become a doctor, hopefully a cardiologist. I'll be continuing my research, doing cardiovascular research, health disparities in Latinos at the NIH. So, you know, I gotta keep us going. Pero also I wanna encourage our younger generations que si se puede, que todo se puede si se echan las ganas. A mi familia que me ha apoyado en todo y siempre me dan tanto amor y todo lo que yo necesite para seguir adelante. Los aprecio mucho y yo sé que esto es para ustedes también. Entonces, le quiero dar eso también a ustedes. And as we move on to the next chapter of our lives, you always have to remember you belong in these spaces, and we are who the next generation looks up to. So, tú decides quién eres y para dónde vas. We did it, class of 2024.
To the end and you had to bring the tears out, but it's okay. So lastly, now please welcome to the stage Stephanie Bonner, Director of Alumni Affinity Programs. Stephanie?
Hello. Good evening and congratulations to the newest Latina alumni at VCU. I'm Stephanie Bonner, class of 2015, and Director of Alumni Affinity Programs in the VCU Alumni Office of Inclusive Engagement and Philanthropy. As a celebration of this momentous occasion, there's a reception in your honor sponsored by the Office of Inclusive Engagement and Philanthropy and the Office of Alumni Relations in partnership with OMSA. While we are all here to celebrate you completing an incredible academic achievement, you are a RAM for life. And this begins your journey into the VCU alumni world. To help with this transition, in the James River Terrace, you'll find delicious food, and the IEP team hopes you'll stay and break bread and connect with one another and guests, while learning more about the alumni world and grabbing some cute little giveaways that we have for you. Congratulations again to the class of 2024.
Okay, after that, I know everybody wants to get to the party, so I'm not gonna stand in your way. I just wanna say congratulations again to everyone. That wonderful celebration that's gonna be happening afterwards, if you will exit to the doors to your left and then proceed back to that terrace. But we did it, everybody. Que siga la fiesta! Awesome.
Sigo cruzando ríos, andando selvas, amando el sol. Cada día sigo sacando espinas de lo profundo del corazón. En la noche sigo encendiendo sueños para limpiar con el humo sagrado cada recuerdo. Cuando escriba tu nombre en la arena blanca con fondo azul, cuando mire el cielo en la forma cruel de una nube gris, aparezcas tú. Una tarde subo una alta loma, mire el pasado, sabrás que no